Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, Swamp Swimmer, and I hear an echo. Joel, I think you got an echo.
Yeah, probably me. Hold on.
Well, anyway, welcome to the list review show for Silicon Hammer 2023, San Jose, California. Oh, Joel, you gotta mute. You gotta mute, Joel. I can hear myself at like 5 seconds after I speak.
He's muted now.
Wow. Can you guys hear an echo? Can the chat hear an echo? I'm hearing it, but anyway, Silicon Hammer 2023, this coming weekend, San Jose, California. I'm super stoked to be there. I'm here with Henry, and I think Joel's in the chat somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's coming on or figuring it out.
Okay.
Oh, we lost him, but he might be back.
Okay.
Oh.
So 5-game tournament. I'm super stoked. Hey, there's Joel.
There we go.
Figure it out. All right.
All right.
Joel, is there anything you just jumped on? But do you want to introduce the tournament in any way? Tell us the gist of it.
Yeah, sure. So for those that have been here before, you probably remember it. It's a very Bay Area theme, Silicon Valley, traffic, earthquakes, venture capitalism, crazy expensiveness. So we try to do, I would say, theme scenarios based around the Bay Area. The biggest one is the investment game. So it's all about startup companies and trying to invest in what you think is going to be the future.
Awesome. Yeah. So there's a couple of mechanics which I'm super stoked about that you're doing. First off, is all of the scenarios are tweaked, right? Is that correct? There's extra stuff in this game?
Yeah. Except for number 2, we'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah.
Okay. And then 2, there is the startup investment system. Is that what you guys call it?
Yeah. So it's the investment game. That's kind of the really fun thing is you try to pick 3 armies that you think are going to do well, and your score is based on the score of those 3 armies divided by the number of people that invest in them. So the real key is trying to find that one army that's going to do well that nobody else picks, and that's how you win the game. And that game offers we have a bunch of bonus prizes for that game, as well as a few extra bonus points towards overall champion.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm stoked about that because it adds this extra layer to the tournament that it's just like extra layer of tournament that gets you excited about winning, and then you guys do a bunch of fun awards at the end for all the different investment opportunities. Yeah. I'm super stoked about it. Last year it was super fun. So for this video, I would like let's do the scenarios very quickly, like just run through them, and then we'll get to the matchups in the list review.
All right.
Okay, so scenario 1, the fog. It's basically frontline clash, but it's moved up 3 inches. Your deployment is moved up 3 inches toward the center of the board, right?
Right. So yeah, so you're anywhere from 3 to 15 inches from your own deployment zone. So you're going to be closer to your enemy than you think. And of course, we have Joe made these really cool screens. So it's blind deployment. You deploy your whole army on your side without seeing the other side, and then we drop the screen and see how the game's going to go.
I just like the part where you can't deploy on the 3 inches on your baseline of your board edge. I think that's a unique part of it. Yep. Scenario 2, no trust in management. This is counter thrust, hold the ground, but...
Okay, so this one we got some pushback. You can read the whole thing, but the idea was basically all of your units that don't have characters have to take, the effect of old school stupidity test.
Yeah.
The idea is everyone's grumbling and they're mad with their management for making them come back to work, so they may or may not listen. But we got a lot of pushback, so I think we're going to kind of void this scenario. It's just going to be a regular game.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I played it today and it was rough.
Yeah.
I think that might be a little bit too strong, but that will be a game time decision on round 2.
So the way I'm going to say it, I'll talk to Joe about this, and the way I'm going to have it is the default is round 2 is just, normal, no special rules. But if you and your opponent agree on some little chaos, feel free to please play test the scenario for us. If you both agree and want to use the special rules, then do it and let us know how it goes. But again, the default is no special rules. You just, play as is unless the both of you agree.
Whoever's playing me round 2, I want to play the fun stuff. So we're doing it all the way. Scenario 3 is refuse link, capture the flag, but this is the hired gun, right?
Yeah. So this one's going to be kind of exciting. So what we're going to do is, and we've published, I'm going to send out the list to everyone. We've taken a bunch of, one from each army book. We've taken one model and we've kind of nerfed it, kind of neutralized it, gave it some special funny rules. So there's going to be a bunch of special characters. But what we plan to do for this year is right before game 3, everyone's going to get around a big table and we're going to draft. So whoever's in last place gets the first pick. Whoever's in second to last place gets the next pick, all the way on up. So you get to pick one of these models to join your army for that game.
That's awesome.
So the one thing I noticed about this one, and I just want to clarify it with you now, is we have more players than we have armies. So do the top 5 just not get drafted?
No. Yeah, so we have 18 hired guns and 24 armies. Me and Joe were like, we're thinking about coming up with 6 more, but instead we're just going to duplicate 6. So 6 of them will be there'll be quantity 2 of 6 of those. Yeah. Okay. So there's going to be 24 models. There'll be 24 models on the table for you to pick from. Everyone's going to get one.
Okay.
We're not
I thought the top 6 were just out in the cold, and I was like,
no.
Like, if you're doing well, you should.
The top 6 just get nerfed hard.
It's not that bad.
All of the hired guns are in this player pack, but we're not going to go through them on this list review. That it'd just be too long. But I encourage all of the players to go in there and take a look at those. And also, after this list review, Joel, when do players in the tournament need to tell you the 3 armies they're investing in?
Yeah, so that'll be the morning of, like right before game 1. But obviously, if you know ahead of time, let me know. It'll just make things easier for me. But yeah, that day when you show up, right before we start game 1, I'm going to say, what are your 3 investments? And we'll get those on.
All right, scenario 4. Oh, we have a new person on the chat. There's Vespasian, Aaron.
Hey, how we doing?
Good. We were just going through the scenarios quickly. We're on scenario number 4. This is Traffic Jam, which is dawn assault, secure target. But
yeah, so this one's going to be a fun one. So you're going to be allowed to pick one of your opponent's units that doesn't show up on turn 1. So it sounds like a hard, this is just a big deal for some people, but again, both armies get to do it. Yeah. So you need to pick one unit in your opponent's list, and that unit doesn't show up until turn 2. It shows up based on ambush rules, automatically appears on your own table edge.
So I also had a question about this one, and I looked through the list and I didn't see anything that would make this come up. But how does this work with attached, like the Saurian stuff where they deploy in the unit?
It would be the
because things like the frog couldn't actually deploy if you chose to push the temple guard. I just noticed it the other day looking through it again.
Yeah, so we made the rule you can't pick characters or war machines, but yeah, if you decided the temple guard can't show up, then yeah, the frog can't attach. You'd have to attach to a different unit for that.
Any characters that are attached to the unit you choose have to go with it to the back, basically.
Yeah.
No. Right?
No. They would have to deploy normally, so they'd have to deploy.
Gotcha. But then characters
so you can't attach.
But then characters like, for instance, the Anarch that has to go in the temple guard, the Tegu guard. Then that would happen. Anyway, we're getting too complicated here. I'm causing trouble.
It was just an interesting thing about attached in that secondary. I like to find problems.
No, thanks.
Scenario 5.
Hopefully Joe's listening. We'll figure this out.
Scenario 5, Earthquake. This is Marching Columns Breakthrough, but this is pretty unclear. It just says there's a chasm on the middle of the board. What is this going to look like?
Yeah, so we're gonna set up. Joe's gonna set up. We're gonna set up like a ribbon. It's gonna be like a piece of red string, effectively, that goes across every table in some
it's just
form.
Zoo terrain. It's just Game 5 is the Infernal Zoo.
It's not that crazy. It'll be more or less a straight line some way across the board that you have to cross.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's move on to the matchups. These are all the hired guns that I'm going through now. There's a lot of them, and they're all pretty funny and interesting, so I highly encourage people to look at them. Let's see here. Match 1. We have Alex Harrison, the Infernal Zookeeper, versus Zach Brooks. I don't know who Zach Brooks is.
He's the Sacramento guy. He was around a lot in 8th edition, and Steve's kind of tricked him into getting back into 9th.
Tricked him?
Yeah. He's playing orcs. It had to be a trick, right?
Also, you notice all of these lists are named, and they have a 3 or 4 digit code, which is like, a stock market code, a company code. So Alex's list is called Bringin' Sexy Back, BSB, and Demon Legions, Courtesan, a Deceiver, a Harbinger with a bunch of stuff, Succubi, Imps, Myrmidons, Eidolons, Brazen Beast, Threshing Engine, Hope Harvester, and 2 Sirens and Furies. Man, there's like one of everything on this list.
Well, one of everything in the book.
That's kind of Alex's MO, though, right? He sort of, I think, I remember his Warriors list was sort of like a grab bag of everything in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it makes me kind of sad that they didn't fix the Legion of Sin book in time for this, because I know Alex started this project as a Sin project, but since the Sin book is currently broken and unusable, he's got to play it as normal vanilla demons.
oh, I love the Legions of Sin book. But yeah, I don't see the game plan in the list. It's just a little bit of everything. I think he's.
I mean, the Succubi with Guiding Venom Sacs is a pretty gross unit to fight on a fair frontage.
No, that's just Chilling Yawn, not.
No,
Oh, yeah.
the Deceiver
Yeah.
is guiding Venom Sacs.
Gotcha.
So it goes in,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Zach's bringing OnG, Tink's Tough Guys, TTG, Orc Warlord, Iron Wark, a bunch of stuff on foot. BS a second Orc Warlord with Bows Mazazappin, Orc Shaman, Adept on Thaumaturgy. Only 3 characters in an Orc list. This is like a straight up Orc list. 35 orcs with spear and shield, 26 orcs with hand weapon shields and crossbows, 20 orcs with crossbows, big block of iron orcs, 6 Gnasher Dashers, which you never see, 2 Gnasher Wrecking teams, a Gargantula, Graking Isle, and a giant with nets.
Yeah, a lot of bodies. Shoots a little bit. Has some kind of, distracting stuff out there, but mainly just like a couple of huge blocks.
Yeah.
And triple monster is just really good in some matchups.
Yeah.
So how does
Pretty light on Maverick.
Yeah.
He's got 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 spells, I guess.
He's Adept with Heirloom and Lightning Vambraces, so that's 4, and a Rod of Battle, so that's 5, yeah.
Yeah. Mainly, at least a lot of them are balance spells. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I think it's he's kind of gone light on characters to really beef up the rest of the list, so see if it works.
Does he really have a way to get to the Courtesan?
I mean, a Gnasher Wrecking team, if it rolls the right numbers,
Yeah.
is enough to handle a courtesan pretty cleanly. I was kind of spider actually. The math is pretty solid for the spider on that.
Yeah, true. All right. So, and I am assuming in this list review we're doing predictions. So who wins this matchup? I honestly don't know. I'm gonna just say it's a tie because I don't know.
I would just put ninth ed experience into this and just say Alex. It's hard because round one matchups for most of this include at least one club mate of mine in almost every matchup. But I would say just player experience. I'd put back Alex.
I also
enough.
think blind opponent favors Alex in general because he's got a lot of stuff that's pretty fast and can redeploy, whereas this OnG list doesn't necessarily. The Succubi can take any of those blocks kind of one-on-one, as you said, Henry. So I think I'd lean Alex. I don't think that Zach has enough range damage to even this up.
All right, Alex. Do your thing. Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, so I've been working on a demon list myself that's very similar to what Alex is doing. So I don't want to give away any of his secrets, but if I was Alex, I would be very happy with this matchup. So I think Alex has a good shot.
Oh no, you know all the secrets, don't you? Oh no. Okay, so that's a 4-0, Alex. Zach, do your thing. Get in there. Let's see here. Matchup number 2. We have Steven Montalvo versus Stepfan. Let's see here. Steven's bringing Warriors, and Stepfan's bringing Beast Herds. I love it. Steven's got Wasteland Behemoth Sorcerer on Occultism. Doomlord General with Hellforged Armor, all the good stuff. Oh, with great weapons, not Spike Shield. Interesting. 10 Warriors, 10 Warriors, 10 Warriors, all with Halberd and Pride. 5 Forsworn, where the General's going. 4 Forsworn, 4 Forsworn, a Forsaken one, and then Wretched Ones. Man, this is a crazy army.
Yeah, it's just oops all spawn because the 4 packs of Forsworn are Damnation
Yeah.
as well.
So are Forsworn scoring?
Yeah, they're scoring innately.
So that's a lot of scoring units. He's got the one
Does
monster.
Damnation take it away or no?
Damnation doesn't make them lose scoring, but when they pop, they get replaced by spawn, which don't have scoring.
Yeah. Which basically means you can't blow through those units. If they get charged by like the ultimate blender, they blend the unit and then. Oh no, it's only models that break. If you
kill them out, they don't replace. But if you break them, it's a full unit of spawn.
That's interesting. You could really use that in interesting ways. He's got the 4 units of random movers. He has the Lord of the Damned on the Doom Lord, which makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Those Forsaken ones are no joke.
Adept is interesting. Not Occultism Master, but I mean, a Master is very expensive these days, so.
Yeah. That means he only has 2 spells?
He has Boem and Rod also. So he's got 4.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Stepfan bringing Beast Herds, Soothsayer, Master on Shamanism with Dark Rain. Beastlord General Hunting Call, looks like just on foot. BSB with the totems. 27 Wildhorn that are not ambushing, paired weapons. 20 Mongrels both ambush. Hounds, Raiders. 6 Minotaurs with paired weapons. Chariot, Cyclops, Gortak, Jabberwock. Woo.
Yeah, I like it as a beast list. It's kind of beasts in general don't want to fight spawn, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
But quad monsters and a bunch of chariots and minotaur is a good recipe for just kind of success against things like elves and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I just played a list kind of close to this, you know, like the quad monster. He had 5 monsters with the double, and like just the combination of terror causing monsters with the Jabberwock against armies that take leadership checks, which doesn't work very well with this army, is strong, but it's like it comes up against armies like this and it loses a lot of its strength.
He's also got a lot of anti-shooting, and there's no shooting in this one as well.
And he's got the little ambushers, just the mongrel herd ambushers. But those aren't going to stand up to anything. Those are just going to get... I guess he has to... It's not going to help... His ambushing's not going to help with the random movers.
I mean, it also doesn't help with the secondary, right? I guess secondary is three pennies for this one, so...
Yeah.
It can kind of help. Just hope the random movers have moved past.
Yeah, if Steven focuses on 2 of them, he can just drop one of those mongrel units to go pick up the 3rd one or something like that, but...
Yeah, I think this is tough. I think the head-to-head match favors Steven, and a lot of the tricks that Stepfan had doesn't work in this one.
All I know is someone whose name shortens to Steve is going to win this game.
Astute.
Yeah, I think Steve's definitely got this one. It's an interesting... I've seen this random mover list a few times, but he's kind of done it in a different way with the Sorcerer Behemoth and the Doom Lord with the Forsworn. And is he trying to just sticky people, like just trap people, sandpit, and then get the random movers into the side of them or something like that? I think, is that the plan?
Yeah, I think things like Spawn have the ability to not roll as many dice. You don't roll a hit, and the less chance you take, kind of the better off in combat you are. So I think that's the idea behind the mass Spawn lists.
All right, so
I'm just seeing the Damnation Forsworn. They're like a double-edged sword because you can't predict necessarily what's going to happen. So they can cause you problems where you've got like a charge set up and then all of a sudden they don't die, and you know you got a Spawn sat in the middle of that frontage you're going for. So bad things can happen with them too, but they do have some cool results sometimes.
Yeah, they're a gamble, but I think the results are worth it sometimes. Yeah. So I think all of us are for Steven. Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough matchup. I think the Warriors have it. The Minotaurs and the Kortak, though, those 2 units have a chance of wiping through anything in the Warriors list. So there's a slim chance for BDSM there, but I think the Warriors.
All right, Warriors only kill everything. Woke is his army's name, and Beastmen, Dominator, Syndicate, Multinational, BDSM. Great names, great names. Okay, moving on.
Grudge.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Here. Oh,
Mighty challenge.
This is Henry. Henry rocking the Ogre Cons, which I think is new for you. A new army coming down the pike. I'm excited to see. And versus Derek.
Hobby project every month and a half or so. Gotta have a new one.
Go ahead and go over your list.
So it's a great con. He's the general, wizard hat, and kind of just built to be a bit of a combat beast. Con BSB, Banner of Swiftness, just mainly built not to die. Double adept shamanism and pyro. Just for a redundant magic phase. 11 bruisers with Banner of Swiftness, 4 bruisers, Banner of Discipline, 7 mercs with the Banner of Rerolls, and their combat mercs, Halberd Plate, double Kin Eater, double Cat, Frost Mammoth, and a Slave Giant with Troll Stew. Troll Stew is busted.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen Troll Stew on the board. So I'm excited to see how that does. And if you think it's broken, I usually believe you.
Yeah, it being cheaper than the Great Weapon doesn't sit right with me, but yeah, it seems really good.
The Kin Eaters are just annoying. They're super annoying. Then you've got 2 big blocks and then a small bruiser block and some beefy characters. And then 3 monsters running around.
Not my normal fare of just tricks and stuff, but yeah.
All right. Let's see what Derek's got. He's running the Dead End Deliveries, DED. Vampire Covenant. We've got the General Occultism on Foot Strigoi. So he's a monster hunter. I don't know exactly what all that means, but it's there. Necromancer. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's got Hypnotic Pendant and Crown. So his unit gets parry, he gets distracting, 15-inch bubble. And he's 4 wounds, T5 with a 4-up regen. Or Fortitude. Fortitude.
But he's still the small 20 by 20 base, right?
Yeah. And he has Hatred. He's nasty, but...
Oof. Necromancer Master on Alchemy. Unholy Tome, Lucky Charm. A Cortair on a Skeleton on Shamanism. True Thirst, Von Karstein. Mysteries of the Night. 40 ghouls, big block of ghouls. 2x4 bats. 21 zombies, dire wolves. A big block of barrel guard with the black banner of Zag, blah, 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 whatever. 14 Barrow Knights, Flaming Banner, and 9 Race with the Champion.
Yeah, so it's, 12 spells, channel 4, 2 pretty decent combat blocks, and Barrow Knights. Yeah, I mean, vampires get to do whatever they want since we got rid of the bloodlines. So it's all the toys in one good bag.
Where's the 4th? Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's a lot of spells. Holy.
Yeah, that is a lot. And you're right, the 2 big blocks are ghouls and barrel guard. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, ghouls with shamanism backing them up is pretty real deal. And occultism passing out of 5-up Aegis is also pretty nice for ghouls.
Henry, who's gonna win this?
I mean, I've never really played against vampire counts before or played with them. I don't know that book too well.
Stop lying! Stop lying on this list review. Come on now.
I don't know. I've played I think a total of 5 games with ogres, counting today. So we'll see.
Derek's a good player. I mean, he's just... I don't know if the big blocks, the barrel guard and the ghouls can stand up against your big blocks. I don't know. Because I never bet against Henry, my vote's for Henry. Aaron, what do you got?
I don't know, man. I think that's a lot. You got to have a lot of juice to take off that barrel guard unit. The mercs probably do. The hypnotic pendant hurts pretty hard there. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a tough one. I think it's actually a pretty even match. Like the lists in a lot of ways are pretty similar. They have almost no range damage. They're focused on getting into combat. They have a lot of good redundant combat buffs. So I think you're gonna see a lot of combats with like 16 spell cards on each side, just like stacked buffs on each side. It's a tough one. I think this one's pretty swingy. I think it's gonna come down to like 1 key combat, maybe 2. You guys both have quite a lot of chaff. Put me on the spot here.
Tough choices.
Tough choices. I think I'm gonna lean Derek. Sorry, Henry.
Oh.
I think that's fair. Derek's been putting up the numbers recently.
Yeah.
Like he won March to War like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So he's. I mean, I may or may not have invested in my opponent as one of my choices. So bet against yourself, right?
Joel.
Can't lose.
Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, as a vampire player myself, I think Derek has a nice list here, and in this matchup, I think Derek has it. I look forward to seeing Henry's army for sure, but I think Derek's got this initial one.
All right. So
Yeah, I'm here for the soft scores, baby.
Soft scores. So that's 2 votes for each
It's gonna be
side.
two really good-looking armies facing off at a minimum, which is cool. So that'll be fun.
All right, 2v2. That's undecided. We'll see what it comes out at. Ben Wilson versus Eric Huntsman. Oh, Ben's bringing his Overcons. Killbot Cybernetics KBC versus Eric's Warrior of the Dark Gods International Regulatory Select IRS. Whew. Okay, Mammoth Hunter with a lance on a rock. Yeah, love it. Mammoth.
It's a cool list.
Mammoth Hunter BSB on foot with the Talisman of Shilling on a Tusker. I'm sorry.
Yeah, on Tusker.
On a Tusker with Cult Leader. Shaman Master on Shamanism with Magical Heirloom. 11 Tribesmen, 3 Tribesmen, 5 Saber-Tooth Tigers, 5 Tusker Cavalry.
5.
Yeah. 5. They go into core if they're 5, so it gets them.
Yeah.
And then 5 Tusker Cab with great weapons and banner and get another 5 Tusker Cab with paired weapons and Stalker Standard. A single Tiger and then another Rockawak with a lance. Oh my goodness!
This is just a zoning punishment list. Like everything hits like a bag of bricks, and it's all just move 8 twist drive and just sits there and waits for you to come towards it.
Yeah, this is a bag of hammers right here. He's got the 2 times 18-inch bubbles, right? So the double bubble general and BSB to help with the frenzy. I think it's. I worked on this list a little bit with him because he was getting frustrated with more of the kind of like typical Ogre Cons list and just wanted to charge shit and take it off. So here you go.
I mean, this is exactly what you need for that.
Yeah. It takes up a lot of board space. I think it'll be interesting to see how the tables are laid out. If we've got Alex's terrain, Ben might be in a little bit of a tough spot in terms of maneuvering around because it's like.
Well, if you run,
it's 5.
I'm assuming.
5 Tuskers, so
I'm assuming he's running
wide.
both the Tuskers 5 wide, so that's just crazy amount of board space.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
All right, Eric's bringing the Doomlord General. Let's see, blah blah blah. A Sorcerer and a War Dice on Alchemy, Adept with a little bit of fighty stuff. 22 Warriors on Gluttony with a Zealot banner. 6 Fallen, 8 Warhound, 9 Chosen with Gluttony. 5 Forsworn Warriors Generals going with the Spike Shields. Forsaken One, Chariot on Gluttony, Battle Shrine. The Supplemental Giant with Favored Giant, which I don't know. Is that the one that makes like a character and it can do challenges and shit like that?
He gets a duelist. Yeah, he gets Hellforged and he's like a duelist.
Yeah. And then Flares. So no shooting in either of these lists, not even close.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of alchemy and the Battle Shrine, so one of these lists can kind of sit off, but I don't imagine either of these players is here to sit off and play a KG looking at both these lists. So
I mean, it's just Ben definitely has the charge advantage. Everything's 8 Swift Stride, as you said. Eric doesn't have the charge advantage.
Yeah, the one thing Foot Chosen really hate is impact hits and stomps.
Yeah.
Which the Ogre list kind of has in spades.
I think I'm gonna give it to Ben. I think if he can get off 1 or 2 key double charge, like a Rock and a Tusker Cav into one of those units, I think he can win the game.
Yeah, I'm in on double rock list. That's what I want to be doing. So yeah.
Joel, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think the Doom Lord and the Forsworn, that's a hefty unit, and can't be stomped. So I'm not sure if I see anything there that can deal with that unit. It's going to be close. I'll give a slight edge to Eric.
All right, I like it. Aaron, what do you got?
I think that Gingat Tusker unit can take that Forsworn brick off. I think it wipes it on average. It's like, aren't they? Their strength 7, AP 4
with the great weapons. Yeah.
You're rolling 1, right? Or is it
might
6?
be 6. It's 6, but
you're rolling 1s. Strength 5. I mean, it's like that thing. I've seen that thing take off like 25 warriors in a go. It's pretty beefy, and the rerolls help a lot. But
where's the rerolls?
The banner of Genget.
That's the rerolls to hit.
Is reroll ones
to hit, wound, and armor save.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Banner.
Yeah. That can be huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ben, do us proud. Because you've got a pretty sweet list. All right. Matchup number 5. Ooh. Look who it is. Josh
It's
Gurn.
the West Coast's favorite son versus the West Coast's shunned son.
Oh no! Am I a shunned son of the West Coast?
Well, who knows who's who?
How do you have more single models than Josh Gurn? Impossible, I say.
We've been training Josh for 2 years. He's almost kicked the habit of single models. I'll have you know.
All right. Josh's army is called Winking in the Dark Gaming, WDG. He's got the Chosen Lord on a black steed, Gladiator Spirit, symbol of slaughter, talisman of shielding, gluttony, idol of spite. Ooh, excuse me. Sorcerer Master on evocation on a steed, paired with Hero's Heart. Rod of Battle. An Adept Alchemy on foot with paired weapons and Book of Arcane Mastery. Block of 23 warriors with Greed. 6 Fallen. 10 Chosen with paired weapon and Greed. 10 Chosen with all the weapons and Greed. 10 Chosen with paired weapons Gluttony. 8 Warrior Knights with Lance and Gluttony. And then 2x5 Flares. It's just such a small. It's a low model count for sure.
Yeah, low model but high output.
Yeah, it's really high output. Those Chosen are a little scary.
Has anybody ever showed Josh the Helmaw entry? Which is like designed for Chosen on foot lists.
I think it changes too often to have a
that's
correctly printed out Helma entry.
That's fair.
By the time the ink dry, it's changed.
True. It's like twice the amount of spells he usually has. I think I do like the changes though. I think it's a more stable, maybe less shock value, but more stable list. It's cool.
Yeah, this is a hard list. It's not fast moving. It's got the Warrior Knights, but it's one zoning piece, but it's just warriors on foot that can just beat you.
Yeah.
So let's go on to my list. The list that will beat the Josh Gurn list. I'm bringing Saurian Ancients, and I have a center point to my army. It's the Titanopod, so my army is called Attack on Titan Pod, AOT. Let's see, I've got the Skink Veteran with the Alchemical Bow and the Stampede Resonator Crystal, because that works magic with the Titanopod. Got two big blocks of two big Skaman units, 2 pieces of Chaff, the Hunters, the 3 Thyroscutus with magnetic bows, 2 Cayman Elder sticks that have, this is basically my 2 leadership bubbles and where my magic comes from. 14 Skink Gorillas with magnetic bows where the character goes, the Titanopod, and then 2 Taurosaurs, both with carved wisdom.
So I've got to ask, I did a Saurian review not too long ago. I'm not sure you watched it, but we pretty much talked on that review how bad the Titanopod was, and yet, lo and behold, here's a 600 point.
Okay. Okay.
Leader 6 non-stubborn.
Not only did he take it, but he named his list after it, Henry. I mean,
come on, guys.
It's like he doesn't watch the videos he produces.
Why would I not take this piece? Come on now.
Hobby hero points, man. Hobby hero points.
And half the reason I'm taking this list is I got Alex to print me out the big Titanopod model. So
you have two seats booked for your flight home. one for you and the one for the Titanopod next to you.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it home, but it might need to be mailed home to me. But we'll see. We'll figure that out when I get there.
Who needs to pack clothes? Just pack the Titanopod.
Dude, it's gonna stomp on everything, and then if I'm facing up against a monster, just charge it. I've got the Stampede Resonator Crystal. It's gonna do 5d3 Strength 6 AP2 hits. To
be fair, if you were to bring the largest of monsters into a game 1 versus anyone, it's the best person is Josh Gurn. Because he will want to fight your large monster. He's not going to try to panic it or shoot it. He's going to try to fight your Titanopod. So
here we go.
Yeah, this is the time to shine. If anything, stomping on or Chaos Knights or probably
having a moment.
Yeah, best time for the Titanopod.
Well, obviously, I'm voting for myself. Joel, what do you say?
That magnetic shooting nonsense. I would say whoever gets turn 1, whoever goes first wins this game.
Okay. Josh, you hear that? Turn 1. Aaron, what do you think?
I'm gonna give it to you if you play it right, Kenyon, because I think like there's no reason to engage Josh until you've shot and and magicked him down a bit, and you zone him with the monsters. You outrange him at least. Your Scutus Herd can pick up a lot of damage. Like it rips up those chosen pretty bad, doesn't it? Right? Because
well, it doesn't do multi-wound anymore. It's just
oh no.
On the initial hit,
yeah,
they nerfed it. And the initial hit, it's Strength 5 AP3, and then the penetrating hits, it's Strength 4 AP1.
Okay, so that's not quite as good. Yeah, I still think I'm gonna give it to you. Just don't engage too early, Kenyon, and I think you can win this.
Sweet. Henry, the final verdict.
I don't bet against clubmates. It's Josh.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
Brutal.
Josh could have nothing written in his column, and I'd still pick him because he's a clubmate. It could be 0 points versus 4,500, and I'd still be like, yeah, I gotta back my clubmate. I'm sorry.
Did you hear that, Kenyon? You know.
Wow.
Like I think so far you never pick me to win any of my first round matches ever. It's like you have like inverse loyalty.
Well, we in Min-Max we like to have healthy working relationships. It's because Glory of Gold is a toxic working relationship. Doesn't mean min max can't have a healthy one.
Oh my goodness. Okay, moving on. Two votes to two. Josh, I'll see you on table one. Rick versus Make Banking Great Again. I don't know who that is.
I think that's David Kaiser, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So Rick's bringing the Infernal Doors. This is new for Rick. He's he been testing out the Infernal Doors lately?
Yeah, he with the last lizard change, it was kind of an extinction event for him. So now he's trying new things. Moving on to a book that's currently gold, so won't change too much.
Fair enough. If you want stability, then this is the book you should choose. Eco Green Energy Corporation, EGEC. So he's got the General on the Great Bull, Flame of the East, Onyx Core, Ring of Desiccation, Obsidian Rock. Prophet, which is a prophet of Asharuk, Pyromancy, Golden Idol of Shamut. A Vizier BSB, a Lamasu Scholar. I feel like that's an auto include in these lists. In Infernal Dwarf list is the Lamasu Scholar. 20 Infernal Wars with Great Weapons and Blunderbuss. 15 Citadel Guard with Pistol Spear. 21 Vassal Levies. 20 Vassal Levies. 26 Immortals. You don't see those too often. A Rocket Battery. Another Rocket Battery on a gunnery team. And a Kadim Titan Walking Volcano Naphtha Thrower.
A lot of shooting and a big combat bull.
I mean,
Not as much.
That bull is scary. That bull is definitely scary.
Yeah, he can party with pretty much anything with his two weapons set up.
Because the Infernal Weapon is with the Onyx Core, which does the multi wound, and then the Flame of the East. I forgot what the Flame of the East does.
The grinds.
Oh yeah.
The Quicksilver grinds.
All right, so kind of, and Immortals are, I don't know. It's an interesting one. The BSB is going in the Immortals probably.
Immortals are just kind of a tough unit to get points out of.
Yeah, they're definitely an anvil. Okay.
The Blunderbuss unit without a Bastion is an interesting choice.
Yeah,
that's tough.
I think with Infernal Dwarves, you run out of options to really fill core unless you own all the vassals in the world. So you just got to fill those points somehow.
Yeah, I guess it can be kind of like an area denial piece in a way. Okay, fair enough.
Let's see here. David is doing Make Banking Great Again, MBGA. Empire Sonstall. Master on Alchemy on a horse. Knight Commander on a horse, who's the General with Death Warrant. Marshal BSB, that's on a horse also with a lance. Artificer Long Rifle, Lightning Vambraces. 15 Knightly Orders, 6 Knightly Orders, 6 Knightly Orders. A 30 Spear Guys. Handguns, Militia, Readers, Rangers, Volley Gun, Steam Tank.
Yeah,
Another kind of one of everything list.
Yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag, and then some small Knightly Order units to go do scoring unit stuff, and then one zoning threat, the 15 Knightly Orders.
Yeah, it's a cap star with a bunch of shooting.
Yeah.
Right.
And also a block of 30 spears too.
Yeah. Empire's so weird because every Empire list I've ever read is exactly the same, but I know they're all different. If that makes any sense. Like, all the units just kind of blend together, but you play against them and you're like, oh, that one did something different, but they all read exactly the same.
Okay, so who's gonna outshoot the other one?
It I think Infernal Dwarves like the fact that they get to shoot against knights rather than like 100 heavy infantry.
Yeah.
It's where blunderbuss really get to shine, and all the like weird alchemy style attacks really get to shine. So I'd back Rick on this one. Also, once again, it's a club mate. So.
I guess we already know your vote. Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm generally gonna back Rick here. I think the alchemy was a weird choice on the Empire. I think this list could have really enjoyed having like Div, for example, and it would have helped this matchup a little bit. But yeah, I think it's tough. Rocket batteries are AP 3, 2.
AP 3, I believe.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the stank could give some problems, but it just sort of depends a little bit on the opening shots and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going to lean Rick on this one.
Yeah. Also, it being a blind deployment and closer, I think helps Infernal Dwarves more than
that's
Empire.
true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Joel, what are you thinking?
I think Rick's definitely going to get it on points. I think the Empire, with spoils and blind deployment and those knight units, he might be able to sneak the secondary for like a 11-9 victory on the swing points. So
that's a good point.
I'll go against the green. I'll go against the green and say Empire squeaks it out on the secondary.
Yeah, it also just really matters how that cannon treats the bull, right? Like, you could just, that steam tank cannon could just have you up almost 1,000 points on turn 2 if things go sideways for Rick.
Okay, shoot, I have to choose one. I think this is a really hard choice. I think you're right about the secondary, Joel, and I think David's got it. I think David's gonna pull out a small win. That's my my vote. So 2-2 there. Alan Martini versus James Starr. Alan Martini's running the Highborn Elves, going back to his Highborn Elves. Martini's Copy Pasta Machine LLC, MCPM. He's got a High Prince on the General with a Nova Flare. High Prince on a Griffin with a Nova Flare. High Prince Lion Chariot with Great Weapon, Obsidian Rock Roll Huntsman, Death Cheater. Is that a third High Prince in there? Third High Prince, Master of the Krennic Tower on foot.
Who would play 3 High Princes? I mean, honestly, I bet no one else would even think about playing 3 High Princes.
I mean, that is a pretty cool choice, though. 3 times 15 Seaguard, 2 times 5 Reavers, a Frost Phoenix, 2 Frost Phoenixes, 3 Reaver Chariots, which you never see in a unit, and then 3 Reapers.
Yeah, when he sent me his army name, I was like trying to make sense of it, and then I saw his list. I'm like, oh, okay.
Copy pasta.
It's a copy machine.
This is a really interesting list. It's gonna those characters are strong. The Master of the Krennic Tower is gonna hop in the Seaguard units. His magic looks like, how many spells does the Prince Master of the Krennic Tower have?
You get 5 in a bound, so 6 total.
Not amazing, but okay. And then the Frosties to be support or just be annoying?
This is zoning terror, right?
Yeah.
Like just flying terror causers. The triple like Reaper Highborn lists really are how well did the Reapers show up, because the games where your bolt throwers do their job, you remember very differently than the games where your bolt throwers don't do their job.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But let's look what James brought. He's a One Up Innovations OUI. He's got the Dragon General with the Imperial Prince. He's got the BSB on foot with Death Warrant, a Prelate with Great Weapons, Locket Asuna, a Wizard on a Griffin, Adept on Alchemy, Wizard Adept on Cosmology on foot, 48 Halberdiers, 9 Knightly Orders, 18 Crossbows, 6 Sun Griffin, an Arcane Shield, Arcane Engine, a Steam Tank, and an Imperial Giant with a Giant Club.
So when I just said every Empire list looks the same, I didn't realize that one of them has a dragon. So I rescind that comment. Anything with a dragon, I'm on board.
I mean, you make a good point about the Reapers in Alan's list. Like, if they show up early, it's a different game.
The one thing I actually like here is the Imperial Giant trying to just give the dragon cover from the Reapers. Which seems like a very James Star move, just walking the giant sideways so the dragon has cover. I like James's list a lot, actually. So if I were to pick someone, I'd pick James, since neither of them are my club mates, so I get to make a
you actually made the choice
actual
here.
informed and unbiased decision.
I think the same thing could be said about the Steam Tank's gun as the Reapers, right? Like, that Steam Tank gun could either kill the Griffin or, cripple a Phoenix early, like turn 1 or turn 2, and then the game changes pretty dramatically. I also think that all the flaming for that Huntsman Prince is actually pretty tough because he got the Death Cheater build, so there's a lot of units that he can't necessarily go into, and then he's also got to sit on Lord Gold.
and alchemy, like the Wizard Adept Alchemy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean James in this one.
Joel, what do you think?
I don't know. I like the 6 Knights of the Sun Griffin and the 48 Heavy Infantry. I'm not sure if I see direct answers for those, so I think I'm going to go with James on this one. Although, if the Sea Guard Reapers do well, then who knows? But I'll go with James.
Yeah, he's right. He can definitely push that big block wherever he wants. James can, and Alan doesn't really have an answer for it. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree with you, James. I think he has the kind of the slight upper hand armies wise, and I think he has a big upper hand on the secondary.
Yeah.
Who hasn't responded yet?
I think that's everyone in the full sweep.
Ooh, James, do your thing, James. Let's see here. Joe Wilson versus Ashley. Joe, running the Saurian Ancients. I think we're the only 2 Saurian Ancient lists. Go, Joe, go. Go, Joe, go. It's, although unfortunately he chose the most unimpressive name, Joe Wilson's Lizards.
Okay. So in defense, both Joe and Ashley did not submit a name, so I just put Joe Wilson's Lizard and Ash's Warriors. So
so sad.
So it's my unimpressive name, but it's their fault for not giving me something. So
okay, fair enough. He's got the Anuarch on Druidism, Forbidden Mastery, so the Druidism and the Pyromancy spells. Tegu Warriors with our Tegu Veteran on a Raptor, Glory of the Dawn Age, Wait, how does that work? Does that work correctly? He can't use the spear while he's on a raptor.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's
Might be a
right.
mistake, Joe. I highly recommend you you look at that. Probably just switching out his weapon for something else.
Is it not?
No, because it's a spear.
Is it a spear like a light lance or whatever?
No, spears can't be used mounted. You have to use a light lance or a lance. Yeah.
Different. I see. Okay.
So, Joe, look into that. That'll be fixed. You might need to fix that before the tournament. 24 Tegu Warrior.
I would guess.
Yeah. Tegu Warriors with 2 Cayman Ancients. Tegu Warriors with 2 Cayman Ancients. 18 Tegu Warriors by themselves. 8 Raptor Riders with Light Lance. A Saurian Giant with a Skink Companion, which is a super interesting pick. Pterodon Riders, Gorillas, 3 Stygiosaurs with Banner of Discipline, and then a Carnosaur Hunt Leader, so he'll go into the Raptor Riders. And if I remember correctly, the Giant with the Skink Companion is like, there's just basically a bunch of skinks riding him. And I think he gets poison attacks.
That's plausible.
I think
all the giant upgrades could really be anything, and if you said it with a firm enough conviction, I'd believe you.
I think this is an interesting list because those big blocks of Tegu Warriors with the 2 Cayman Ancients, those are really tough units.
Especially backed up by Druidism.
Yeah, especially backed up by Druidism, yeah.
And they're sword and board now, so you don't have to deal with defensive 2.
Yep.
This is the way.
He also has the Champion Enclave on both these units, so that means both the units have to take the 1 spell. They can't take the Hereditary. That might be a mistake on his part also, just so he knows. Joe, if you're watching, check that out.
Does it give you channel, though?
No, it does not.
Oh, it doesn't give you channel.
I think it's just redundancy. If you lose 1, you still have.
Okay, fair enough.
Awaken the Beast, right?
Yeah, it's Awaken the Beast.
And it gets you. Oh no, he's over Mid-Core. Okay, I don't know.
Joe just has a lot of Tegu models and likes to put them on the table.
I think it's basically those 2 big blocks and a Carnosaur Raptor unit for zoning.
Yeah, and it's just how much heavy lifting does Druidism do?
I mean, and on top of that, the 3 Stygiosaurs are not nothing to sneeze at.
It's got a lot of magic.
It's a good list. I think it's going to be a really hard list to get through, which is interesting. Ashley, taking the Warriors of the Dark Gods. Chosen Lord General on a Wasteland Dragon. Woohoo! 905 points. Touch of Greatness. Crown of the Wizard King. Obsidian Rock. Lust. Dark Prelate. A Sorcerer on a Wasteland Behemoth. Apprentice on Evocation. Paired Weapons Hero's Heart. Book of Arcane Mastery. Rod of Battle. 3x10 Warriors with Pride. 4 Feldrakes with Halberds and Icon the Infinite, 3 Feldrakes with Paired Weapons, a Feldrake Elder, a Feldrake Elder, and 5 Warhounds. Boy, oh boy.
Well,
She and Steve must have worked on these lists together.
the one thing I'll say is this is a double down. Not only does this list have a dragon, so it gets my vote, but it's also a club member. So it's a double down for me.
Double down.
Dragon using clubmates, so yep. You know my vote already.
Double Feldrake Elder with a dragon and 2 Feldrake units.
And a behemoth.
And a behemoth.
Quad monster.
This is that's a scary list. That's really a scary list. But he does have the Carnosaur. The baby Carnosaur does multi-wounds against the monsters or not?
I think against large, right?
It's not, but it's not against gigantic.
I don't think it's gigantic.
Not gigantic.
So, I mean, the Feldrakes are scared of it then.
kind of. Like, they do have 4 wounds apiece, and I think they're hitting it on 3s when hit on 3s or 4s. So, like, they're kind of scared of it, but it's got squishy raptor friends rolling with it that are pretty easy combat res.
Yeah. No, the Raptor Riders, so they are a 2-up armor save, but it's freaking Feldrakes.
Yeah.
I think Ashley's got the upper hand here. She's just got a beat stick list. And
All I want is out of her 5 games, I want that dragon to choose flee as the charge reaction and then feign flight back, just once. I know Lust is free. It has Lust.
Oh, it has Lust.
I know it's free. I know it's the free Chosen Lord choice, but just feign flight that dragon away once, please.
The 905 point piece of fast cav.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way.
This is. Yeah, my vote's for Ashley. Aaron, what do you got?
I don't know. I think this was a tough draw from a mission and blind deployment perspective, because I think that if it's a head-on fight, I think that actually those Tegu units grind down pretty much anything in that army backed up by Druidism. But I think the issue is kind of counter deployment and mobility, because once you get an Elder or a Wasteland Behemoth in your flank or rear, it becomes a real problem for those units to deal with. So I think this was a tough draw for this particular matchup for Joe. But I'm gonna have to go for Joe. He's my buddy. So I'm going for Joe.
Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a lot of Feldrakes, a lot of paired weapons, so much for that hand weapon shield stuff. I got to go with Ashley's Warriors.
And we know what Henry's doing. So looks like Ashley, you got 3 out of 4 votes. I think you have the upper hand. Let's move on to matchup number 9. Luke Elder versus the Admiral. Who's the Admiral?
Oh, come on now. That's Micah.
Oh God, it's Micah. Luke, Heavy Metal Chads, HMC. That's a good name. Going on the Warriors. Did he recently pick up Warriors, or he was playing Ogre Cons before?
He's been working on it for a little while.
Yeah. So, Chosen Lord General, Trophy Rack, Spike Shield, Hellforce Armor, Hand Weapon, Gluttony, Demonic Wings. Jesus. So that's all on foot, right?
Yeah, he does have Trophy Rack Banner of a Relentless Company, which is wild to me. So he can, yeet himself 15 inches flying somewhere if he needs to. And he's the 1-up reroll Spike Shield guy, so with Symbol of Slaughter, so he bounces attacks back at you.
Mm-hmm.
So he just dive bombs in front of units and just bounces attacks back at you all day.
Oof, yuck. Sorcerer on a Black Steed Adept on Evocation. Sorcerer Adept on Alchemy on foot. 24 Warriors on Gluttony. 8 Barb Horsemen with paired weapons. 5 Feldrakes with halberds. 10 Warrior Knights with lances. Forsaken One, Marauding Giant with Monstrous Familiar. A Chimera, and 5 Flares.
Monstrous Familiar is probably the best upgraded for a Marauding Giant.
So it makes him
spells makes him an apprentice with either Breath of Corruption, Hellfire, or Glory of Gold.
Well,
I think you're right. Yeah.
It's a solid 3 to choose from for sure. And then the Giant's just hard to deal with because it's got 7 wounds. Knights.
I really like this Warriors list. It's solid besides Barb Horseman, but you got to pay for core somehow, I guess.
Yeah, they're just a sorcerer caddy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and it's got 3, 4 scoring.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4. 4.
It's an interesting list. It's a little bit of everything. Micah's list: Drake's Unlimited DUL, Highborn Elves, bringing back the Highborn Elves, High Prince General on an Ancient Dragon, Great Weapon Super Dex, Crown of the Wizard King, Obsidian Rock. Love it. Mage on an Eagle, Adept on Cosmology, Book of Arcane Mastery, 12 Lancers, Banner of Discipline, 5 more Lancers, 9 Reavers, 5 Reavers, 12 Knights of Rima with the Stalker Standard, another 12 Knights of Rima, an Initiate, Reavers, 2 Giant Eagles in a unit, and then a single Giant Eagle. What a unit. What an army. Wow. 2 dragons, basically. And then just 2 monster Rima units.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 spells.
Yep.
Yeah.
But not the hereditary.
Not the hereditary. Now, I know what you're saying, but Henry, which list would you like to choose? Well, I bet you're going to be wowed by this, but one is my club mate who has a dragon. So,
Shocked. Henry. Shocked.
Jesus, is he gonna? I don't know. I mean, Micah's a great player, but like the cavalry highborn elf list has yet to prove itself in this game. I'm gonna give us. I'm giving it to Luke. Luke, you can do it. Aaron, what do you got?
I think this is a bit of a mismatch for Luke. Unfortunately, everything outranges him. Yeah, I mean, there are some Warriors units that I think would tear this apart, or Warriors lists that would tear this list apart, but this is not one of them. I think he doesn't have an answer for the Ancient Dragon. Everything in Micah's army is, advance 9 or fly, and Micah has a bunch of chaff. So I think this is a tough draw for Luke's list, even though I do like it. I think it's pretty flexible. I think this is kind of like a rock, scissors sort of situation.
All right, fair enough. Joel, what do you got?
Yeah, I think Micah's list is so fast and so maneuverable. I think he's got it, no problem. Given his blind deployment, if Luke gets lucky on deployment and gets first turn, he might have a chance to, surprise Micah. But in general, I'm going with Drake's Unlimited.
Luke, I'm voting for you. I stand by my choice. All you gotta do is we'll get one overrun to go your way and a counter charge. One long charge on your half can win this game for you. That's all I have to say.
Or if Micah lets him get the Feldrax into the Ancient, then then things could get interesting.
the secret to beating Micah Pierce is you just start getting him drinks early. You get him drinks often.
Giving him some breakfast beers that'll get a win for you right away.
Yeah. Game 1 on Saturday is gonna be rough.
Remember,
Saturday morning.
Everyone remember this venue has table service with beers, so you can get a beer at your table served to you.
My favorite tournament for that reason alone.
And Luke, if it doesn't help you in your game 1, at least you're paying it forward to whoever plays in game 2. Yeah. So think of it that way.
All right, going on to matchup 10. We have, look at this, Aaron Chom versus Joe Frith the ringer list. Aaron, I want you to please go through your list. Let's see it. Let's hear it.
Well, if you saw Alan's list, then you would be relatively familiar with mine. There's a couple of differences. I've got Fleet Officer on the Griffin. I have what I think is the better build on the Huntsman Chariot, with the Ring of the Pearl Throne. And then I did the Master Krennic Tower. This was a last minute change, but with the Book of Melodus, just try that out. And then my core is a little bit different. I have the Lancer unit instead of the 3rd Sea Guard unit, and Archers instead of the 2nd Reaver unit. And then I've got one of each of the Phoenixes, and then Reaver Chariots and 3 Sea Guard Reapers.
So what's the thought process behind having one fire and one frost?
You know, I think that like a lot of times people just like copy units, but I think like these two models do very, very different things in my mind, even though they're on the same chassis. Like the sweep attack with the Flame Phoenix is awesome. Also having a 2nd flyer with a 3-up Aegis against flaming is really nice in some matchups. And he actually can fight, whereas the Frost Phoenix is sort of more of like a support piece. Like with the grinds and the thunder stomps and the attacks, like he can actually take off infantry units by himself. So I see them as very different. And I think he helps in some matchups quite a lot.
I forgot to mention the names to your armies. Your Aaron's name is Who Needs a BSB, NBSB, and Joe's Orkland Raiders, JOR.
To be fair, is nothing more Silicon Valley than two things that are very similar, except one is slightly different and probably worse. Aaron, I really like this list. I also agree that for the most part, I think Highborn is one of the armies that can get away without a BSB. You have a lot of 10 that you can push around to be where they need to be, which is pretty important.
Yeah.
And I like the Frostfire mix up. I was trying to remember that poem from high school off the top of my head, but I couldn't get there in time. Some say the whirlwind and fire summon frost. Yeah, whatever.
And Joe's list, OnG. Ooh, Shaman on a Boar, Master on Pyromancy with Protection Pension.
Hold on. We gotta stop. Because has he decided? Because he decided he's gonna pull the TO privileges and change his list at the last minute. So has he decided which one he's gonna take?
Joe, you're in the chat. Yeah. You're in the chat. Are you sticking with this list or are you going with the other one?
Should be just whatever is in the box when he gets to the table.
I gave him a question, this or that, and the answer is yes.
The correct answer to this or that.
Well, let's just go over this list. He's saying this is it. This is it.
Okay.
This is the list. Let's see. Orc Warlord, General Iron Orc, Omen of the Apocalypse, Potion of Swiftness, 35 Ed Bashers with paired weapons, Green Tide, 3x5 Orc Boar Riders with Feral, 30 Iron Orcs, 3-0 with Green Tide, 8 Trolls, Cave Trolls, a Boar Chariot, 2x10 Nashers, 6 Grotlings, and a Grey Green Idol. Ooh. I mean, I feel like the 30 Iron Orcs are going to cause you problems.
Yeah, that unit's pretty hard to take off.
Also, are there ringer rules like Aaron can't score less than 10 points or whatever in this tournament?
I think that the ringer rules, the ringer can't win the tournament, right? Otherwise, 20 O's for Black Orc City, right?
Black Orc City.
10 max.
10 max. All right. So I think it's going to be a tie. 10-10.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
E-
despite inviting Aaron multiple times to play for Min-Max, he is not a club member, and he doesn't have a dragon. However, I am going to pick him to win this game.
There's gonna be 3 dragons on that table. You watch. They're coming.
No, I think honestly, I think Aaron, you got it. I think you can clean up everything except for that big block or the one of the 2 big blocks, and then you're gonna swarm it and charge it from all directions and clean it up. That's my thought. Joel?
I think Joe's going to make it tough, especially with the secondary. So I give the overall victory to Aaron, but I'd be surprised if he got more than 12. I think Joe's going to make it work for it. 12.
The moral victory to Joe. All right, Aaron, there you go. 3 votes for you. 3 votes for you.
Did it.
All right, matchup number 11.
The other list had 60 Iron Orcs.
Oh yeah, the other list had like a crazy amount of orcs or iron orcs. Luke, oh my god, I forgot Luke's in this tournament, and he is bringing Saurian Ancients, of course. So that's the 3rd Saurian Ancient list, and then good old Darrell Grigsby playing the Dwarven Hold. Damn, Darrell.
Hey, it could have been the Lizard Mirror if they hadn't messed up the book at the last hour.
Damn it, Darrell. Okay, make Tegu Grid again, MTGA, is Luke. Anarch, Divination, Talisman of the Void, Mind Shifting Mastery. I don't remember what Mind Shifting Mastery is. Cayman Master, love it with Vital Essence.
You pick the attribute.
Oh, that's spell. Yeah. Each spell you can choose a specific attribute, which is a great upgrade.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Let's see here. 9 Cayman Warriors with Tooth and Claw, Flaming Standard, and the Champion. Tegu Warriors with 2 Cayman Elders with Great Weapons, Flaming Standard. An 8 Raptor pack to fill out core. 5 Cayman Elders with Great Weapons and the Koru Stone, so that's his BSB and his Leadership Bubble. Snake Swarms with Scout. Pterodons, Gorillas with Magnetic Bows and Vanguard, 3 Stygiosaurs, and a Taurosaur with a Lodestone Shield, which is the shooting bubble. It's a little bit of everything list. I like it though.
Yeah, I like this list actually.
With Mind Shifting Mastery, does he get the Druidism attribute? No, not the Druidism. I mean the
Alchemy.
the Alchemy. Yeah.
That's why he's got the flaming.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting lizard list, and either way, Darrell's going to be sad about the lizard playing against lizards. If he loses, he's sad against playing against lizards. If he wins, he's still sad about the lizard book. So, no matter what goes down, he won't be happy.
And speaking of Darrell, he's thehammer.com THC. King on a war throne, a big old king. A BSB with steel, iron, and a great weapon. Runesmith, Rune of Denial, battle runes. Another Runesmith with Rune of Devouring and battle runes. 30 Greybeards with great weapons. 3 times 10 clan warriors. 1 has Vanguard. 30 Deep Watch. 6 Hold Guardians. 14 Seekers. 2 Vengeance Seekers.
We can get my vote out of the way.
Yeah, we know.
Or not.
Shoot. This is the typical Darrell Dwarvenhold list with no shooting and a lot of... Actually, not as much Vanguard as I expected him to have.
King's tired. He's been running so much recently that
running around.
He needs a bit of a rest.
But like so many other Dwarvenhold lists, that King in the Deep Watch unit, I mean, what's gonna break that? Nothing. What's gonna crack that nut? Nothing.
Secret is don't crack the nut. But
Yeah.
I think the problem is that Luke's, like, a lot of Luke's points are pretty slow, so it's hard for him to get away and kind of play keep away from that king's block. I think it's I think it's a tough draw for Luke on this one.
Yeah, I
Unless
mean,
he magically counter deploys him, and then the king has to run off there across the table.
I was gonna say that it's a slight advantage for Luke with the blind deployment, but I don't think it's enough. I think Darrell's got it, and I hate rooting for the dwarves, but
it's also really hard to play against dwarves on three pennies kegs. They just get on it and sit on it, and that's kind of the end of the conversation.
And also he's got
deep block across from the center, and then
he's running a list that's 2 big blocks, the Deep Watch and the Grey Bears, and you can just put one on two of the tokens, and then what do you do?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one for Luke, unfortunately, I think.
Although I really want to see how the Cayman Master with Vital Essence does. I think the Cayman Master is such a interesting model. I want to see how well it does. Luke, we'll talk when we're there, but let me know how that does. So Aaron, me, and Henry root for Darrell. Joel, what do you think?
So
Officially, I did not vote for dwarves.
Oh, I thought you did. My bad. My bad.
I mean, it can't go into the record books as me voting for dwarves. Like, I think conceptually the matchup is in favor of Darrell.
Abstaining is its own vote, I suppose.
I'm a man of principle. I can't do it.
Joel, what do you got?
All right, I'm gonna say, like, on paper, looking at this and knowing Darrell and Luke, 100% I'm for Darrell. But I've played against Luke's list, this very similar list, 3 times in a row, and he kicked my ass all 3 times unexpectedly. So I'm gonna go with Luke.
Okay, I love it. I mean, it is Soaring Ancients. Go for Luke. Prove us wrong, please. Prove us wrong.
Sure.
All right, let's on to I think this is the last matchup. We've got John Lehman versus Cary Hegna. John is Ogre AI, OAI. He's got the Shaman General Master on Shamanism with Binding Scroll and in his pants. Shaman Apprentice on Thaumaturgy, Book of Arcane Mastery. Con BSB, blah, 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 with the Viper's Curse, BSB basically, cult leader. 10 Bruisers with the Pen of the Great Grass Sky. Bruiser Dart, a Tribesman Dart. 6 Merc Vets with pistols. 4 Tusker Cav. 2x4 Bombardiers, a Frost Mammoth, and a Slave Giant with an Iron Fist.
Somebody watches Matt CD's YouTube channel.
Oh. Is this what Matt CD's been running lately?
I mean, with the exception of the 2 units of Bombardiers, I think it is identical to his WTC list.
John's been on this list a while, but he loves that Merc Cowboys. Like, it gets points that you don't have to invest in.
That's a solid list. The Viper Curse in with the poison pistols is always a solid choice. My question is, where's he gonna hide those shamans? I mean,
I think they just kind of hang out in different places because the list doesn't really go forward until it needs to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true.
It has a lot of shooting.
Yeah, the Bombardiers with the poison Merc Vets is a good amount of shooting. And I have to admit, the Frost Mammoth really helps out that list. Okay, that's a good list. It's a good list.
Good list, yeah.
Cary is running Warriors. Cary's Red Tide, CRT. Exalted Herald, Sorcerer General on a Wasteland Dragon, Master on Occultism. Ooh. Chosen Lord on a Karkadon, Halberd, Wrath, Entropic Aura. Fuck the Entropic Aura. I hate that thing. 18 warriors on Pride, 18 warriors on Pride, 5 chosen knights on Wrath, Forsaken one, warrior knight, flayers, and a wretched one. A single wretched one.
So this one was actually kind of hard for me to pick because while John is not technically min-max, it's more or less min-max. However, Cary was able to do a club tiebreaker by including a dragon.
It's an interesting list. The poison's really going to help against those the dragon and the characters. And the wretched, the Forsaken one. Ooh, I think John's got it.
If I were to actually look at this in a vein of knowing how to play this game, I would agree. But it's also cool to see warriors capping their character limit.
Yeah.
Being given 50% character or whatever warriors get to do is you've got a lot of room to work with, and it's pretty hard to actually cap out. So.
Yeah, because what's the bombardier shots? Are they AP1 or AP2?
2.
Okay, so that helps even more. Yeah. I think it's John for me. Joel, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Cary. I like the Warriors. I like the Warriors' chance in this one. He's got to be aggressive, but I think he's got a good shot.
I think that's you hit the nail on the head, Joel. I think that like there's gonna be that one turn where the Herald, the Dragon, the Chosen Knights are all out in the open, ready to charge, and like either John's shooting shows up or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the cap.
Yeah.
Which means he's sacrificing the scoring darts for chaff, essentially. So there's I think it's a swingy one. I'm gonna give John the edge. But I think it's a swingy one. If Cary plays aggressive and gets lucky with that key turn, it could go his way in a big way.
I hope that Shaman Apprentice is ready to jump on a hand grenade. I kind of foresee that in his future.
He's gonna eat a Chosen Lord nest at some point in this match for sure.
All right, so that's 2-2. That's a good tie. Okay, so I think that's the last matchup. Last thing I'm going to ask you guys is any one list stand out as either a list you think's going to take the whole thing, or a cool, unique list that you really loved. Just pick one.
I really enjoy seeing a Titanopod in the wild. They're such gentle and peaceful creatures, and it's just nice to see them in their natural habitat. John Hammond would be proud. It's just...
I should have on my phone the Jurassic Park song from that scene just playing on my phone. I just assumed
you were going to show up in like a cream-colored suit with a cane and a little field hat.
There you go. You have to now.
Oh man, I'm telling you, the Titanopod is gonna show up and it's gonna wreck face, guys.
Ruining hobbies.
Aaron, tell me a list.
A list. Honestly, I think which one? No, I think Derek's is interesting.
The beast herd?
Pack. The vampire.
Oh, the vampire. Gotcha.
Derek. I think he's managed to pack a lot in there, and the magic phase is crazy. I think it's going to come down to matchups in the right missions, right? Because it's relatively slow moving, but I think that Like I think that list is. I've seen a lot that sort of have some of what it has, but it seems like he's managed to kind of like have his cake and eat it too, with a Barrow Knight star, a Barrow Guard star, huge unit of ghouls, and like
Yeah,
the most insane magic phases I've ever seen. So
I agree. That's a scary list. That is a legitimately scary list. Yeah.
and if people run at it, it's like, I think it's like a wood chipper. I don't know.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Henry. You strike first, so there you go. There's your advantage.
I'm gonna choose my list, and I actually chose against the list to win, but I'm going with Micah's list, and I think the all-mounted Highborn Elf list is a super cool themey thing. And you're right. When after I've said my decision, you guys talked about how you think he's gonna win. I'm like, gosh, you guys are actually kind of right. I think it's gonna look super cool. I don't know. I like Micah too. I think it's a cool list. I'm excited about this list.
Micah's if you're gonna pick people on players as well, he's a safe bet. He pretty much took this to March and was playing for it up until the end. He's been playing this list since 8th. It's good safe bet.
Fair enough. Okay, and to close it out, the TO Joel. What list are you thinking about?
So, I'd say, I'm leaning towards maneuverability because I think 3 of our scenarios, blind deployments, the one where you get to keep an opponent's unit off the table, and then the earthquake one where you got to deal with dangerous terrain. I think maneuverability is going to be a huge thing, and I think I'm kind of torn between both Micah and Alex, and I think the demons or the Highborn Elves right there. I think they have the maneuverability to win a bunch of those games. So
Interesting.
I'm torn between either Micah or Alex.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought you were going to choose the ringer list, being the TO. Yeah, I think he's going to get solid 50 points on the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't consider Alex's list. I think, I don't know. You know what this list does, and I don't know, and it's driving me insane.
Yeah, he made some slight changes to it since March to War, and the changes he made, I like it. So I'm excited to see how it does.
I need to study that. This is probably the one list I need to study before the tournament.
Learn on the fly. Play Alex, and you'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
To wrap up, anyone going to Silicon Hammer, look at all these lists. Look at the 3 or 4 digit code for each army. Start thinking about the 3 armies you want to invest in. As Joel said, if you know the 3 armies you want to invest in now, go ahead and email him, but you could also do it day of on Saturday morning. I've got a couple I'm thinking about, but remember how it works is you don't want to choose the army you think is going to win the whole tournament, because maybe a bunch of other people are thinking that same thing. You want to choose the dark horse, someone in the middle who's going to do well, but is not going to be chosen a lot. But
yeah. So just to chime in on that, last year we did it because it was kind of new. It was only the first 3 games, so the day 1 is all that mattered. This year we're going all 5 games.
Okay.
And if you read the details, the slight twist is after the 3 games, on the morning before the 4th game, you're allowed to make 1 trade. So you can drop 1 army you have and pick up 1 different one. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to publish as the tournament goes on. I'll publish how well each one is doing.
That was my question of you're gonna do like a stock ticker during the tournament, so we're gonna see live results. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Can I add just one thing? If I didn't pick your list and you're wondering why, consider joining MinMax or playing a dragon. We're always taking new members on, and it's always cool to play a dragon, and then I'll pick your list in every list review.
Boy.
Pretty simple. So join on up. We will be recruiting on site, and we, as you see, promote a positive work environment and a positive club environment. So yeah,
we're an equal opportunity gaming club.
Yeah.
Although, listen, Swamp Super he picked me. Here we go. Starts today.
Nature is healing. Nature is healing.
I'm feeling very zen after playing Soaring Ancients a lot. A lot of inner my inner being, my third eye has been opened. But one last shout out, and this is directed toward none of us at the tournament, but all of those players in the Pacific Northwest and all of those players in Southern California. Where are you? Where were you at this tournament? We wanted to see you guys here. Ugh, I'm just a little disappointed. I'm coming from New York City across the country. I wanted to see some Pacific Northwest. I wanted to see some Southern California players. Next year, guys, next year. But
Table service beers. That's all you have to say. Table service. What tournament has table service? Come on.
But anyway,
Thank
you guys for joining me. I'm looking forward to the tournament. Thank everyone in the chat. Looks like I've got 16 people in the chat. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. I'll be there probably Friday afternoon, and then I take the red eye home Sunday. So I'll be there the whole weekend, having fun. Please like and
everybody.
Please like and subscribe. Please hit that follow, subscribe, whatever. You know the deal. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Later.